What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to actually say, show me a list of the active payees. It looks like Santi, Brandon, and Barney Rubble. Awesome. That's perfect.
That's Sherry.
That's awesome. So basically what happens right now, I'm currently logged in as Adilas Demo. Okay. If I wanted to actually log in as myself, I would literally log out and then log back in, and then I would be under that particular username. So if I did something, it would be tracked.
How can you tell?
What's that? Okay, how can you tell who you're logged in at? You go to the home page, like just a normal home, and it'll tell you who you are logged in at as far as how that goes, okay? That's where that particular piece of the puzzle is stored. So if I wanted to, do you guys want to, I'm going to go ahead and log out and log in as myself so you can see what the difference is, okay? I'm going to log out. Right here, as I log back in, I'll just go like this. I did 6, 7, 8, 9, log in. Okay, here's my little news and updates page. The first time I log in, it kind of tells you some brief things that are going to be going on. We'll hit continue to the home page. Here's the page that I just now designed for myself. I'm now in under Brandon. Okay, if I try to clock in right now, it won't let me, and I'll get an error message saying, hey, according to the system, you are not currently assigned to an active department, unable to proceed. Here's how you do this. This is why it's kind of set up. If I have the permissions, I could go department homepage. Oh, looks like somebody already created one called Grow Store. Am I going to be under this, or am I going to be under admin? I'm under admin. I'm going to put in a new one, okay? So I'm going to put in a new one. Looks like the other one was in lowercase, so I'm going to kind of follow suit. Oh. Admin, add that as a new department. So here's my admin. Currently underneath admin, I don't have anybody at all. There's no users. But say I'm going to assign myself. I'm going to click here. I'm going to go Brandon is now going to be assigned, and he is going to be paid on a semi-monthly basis. And we're going to pay him, should we pay him salary or hourly? Should we make Brandon clock in and out?
Yes.
Yes, okay. How much is his hourly? I hope it's at least over 12 to 15. And
$8.
8, no way, no way. I'm going to have to get a different job, sorry. Okay, let's pretend that am I just hourly or am I commission?
Hourly plus commission.
Hourly plus? Okay, great. Sounds good. And if I do sell some stuff, so say I sell some grow items, how much am I going to get paid on my
5%?
5%? Sweet. This is going to be great. Is this on just sales that I do, or is this sales that are general to the company, or what's the plan?
Just your sales.
Just my sales, so I only get 5%?
We do track by cash register.
Okay. Do I get any sort of labor or anything like that? Do I get paid on labor? Oh, bummer. Okay, no problem. But basically, what this is this kind of helps you get set up. This is called your department. So really quick, I'm going to grab a highlighter just so you can see. So you have a user here, okay? And let's say that this is Brandon, okay? And you have this virtual little department right here that we called admin, okay? In order for me to be assigned to admin, you have to go through this process, which kind of creates all the little payroll settings. And then I can be able to clock in and out. If you don't, I exist and the department exists, but the link or the connection does not exist. That's what this little piece right here is going to do. It's going to create the link between the two pieces. Okay? So we're going to come down here, allowances claimed, I'm going to say 0. I am married, but I'm going to go ahead and withhold at the single rate, and I'm going to come here and I'm going to say, hey, let's go to Colorado. And dependents, I do have a number of dependents, but for my particular, what is this called, I-9? I can't remember.
Oh, you're exempt? Oh, no, 1099?
Your W-4, so like what are your settings? I'm going to not even worry about any, I want them to pull out everything that they possibly can on my taxes, but if I wanted to, I could technically say, hey, I actually have 4 children. This one just depends on certain states. Like this is not federal piece of the puzzle. Like for instance, Colorado doesn't really care about dependents on their tax calculations, but Alabama does. And so it kind of just depends on, it's more of a state thing. So I'm just going to leave mine at 0 and come on down. Tax exempt. No, I am not tax exempt. I don't want to withhold any special things, but if I had any sort of AFLAC or insurance plans or lunch plans or You know, like even your, say you had child support or anything, this all goes in these little guys right here, and then you get to determine, hey, is this pre or after taxes, according to the settings, okay? And then you come on down, and we can say calculate overtime, yes or no. I'm going to say yes, and we'll just go from there and say add the payee. So once I create that permission, you can actually see that, Joe, it looks like you put yourself under the grow, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, perfect. And the trim crew is under Barney, you put yours under your own little piece. That's great, that's great. You guys are all doing those little pieces of the puzzle. What it did is literally user connected to a department. Now what Santiago said is he's like, hey, click on the clock in and out. If I go home again and I click on clock in and out, guess what it'll allow me to do now? Oh, cool. Guess what? I know that which department you're in. You're in the admin department. So then I could basically say, hey, cool, I'm going to start work and clock in. Pulls me right here. I now have a time clock. A digital time clock is starting for me as a user right now. Okay? Awesome. So basically what we did is we just created some new employees. Let's go, just for fun, remember how when we started this there was nothing in the system? Let's have everybody go System Reports, History Homepage, go.
I just hired a lot of people.
Santi, you've now got 8. We started with 1 under Adilas Demo. But if I look underneath this right here, we now have a whole bunch. We have John and Santi and Brandon and Mother Moore. How funny. Optimus Prime.
Ah.
We have an Autobot in our midst. Perfect. That's perfect. Okay, cool. So basically you can see that history homepage. It'll really let you know kind of what's going on. I've got 2 time cards. I could even flip in here and say, who's clocking in? Who's doing what? Just click on that. Okay. So I've got Barney's in and Brandon's in. Joe, did you set yourself up with?
No, where do I keep getting back to Atlas data. So how do I log myself in?
Okay. So what you need to do is just click log out and then log back in if you remember what your username and password is. And if not, guess what? We have admin permissions. We can reset that for you. So I know we're eventually heading towards inventory, I promise, but we're kind of slowly.
This is awesome because basically what we're doing back here is teaching these guys how to set it up for somebody else. So
Awesome. You're in?
I'm going to be here tomorrow, so I'll keep it this.
Okay, so cool. So right now there's currently 2 of them that have actually clocked in and out. Sherry O, can I actually have you finish yours right now?
Oh, sure.
Go into your Barney Rebel one?
I was just sorry.
No problem. Just go ahead and clock out. What I'm going to do is I went to a place called the Admin Time Clock, and Sherry O is making an entry right here. But what I want to show you is that eventually I will actually get Sherry O's pieces of the puzzle right here. As soon as she says that she's done, I'll just hit refresh on this page, and it'll virtually show me whoever's logged or clocked in and out today. Alrighty, I'm going to hit refresh. Okay, so check this out. Brandon was in, Mother Moore came in, Joe came in, Barney came in, and wow, okay. Brandon told me to clock in and out. Okay, great. I've got to be careful what I ask Sherry to do because she goes way above and beyond.
I took your notes.
Yeah, notes are great because notes are searchable and they are very, very powerful, especially for the user. If you wanted to, that's great. That's perfect, okay? So what you can see here is you can see different things that happen. While we're in here, watch this. Say I actually wanted to modify Sherry's record, okay? If I actually modify her record, it has right here, okay, what's going on. If I wanted to say, you know what, Sherry O, let's put you in at 9 a.m. and say update. What I want to show you is when I go back to the admin time clock for that particular record, you will actually see a little modified flag, okay? So it goes from 9 until 11:39. She's at 2.65 hours, okay? But you'll see that there's a modified flag. So anything that doesn't have a modified flag means it was a natural entry made by that person, okay? It also does show what your IP address is as far as, so you can tell if somebody clocked in from their phone or, you know, like, on the way to work, or they're at McDonald's or whatever. So like, just it doesn't limit them from doing that. It just kind of is like, oh, come here, Johnny, let's have a little chat, okay? Looks to me like you've been clocking in from here. Okay, so basically we have a couple different time cards, and once again, as we popped into our history homepage, by default it does the daily date. So on time cards, I already have 6 time cards that are kind of starting to populate my system, okay? At any point in time, if I have the permissions, I can drill down and see exactly what those pieces of the puzzle were and what's going on. Ah, guess what? This one has a modified flag as well. I'll bet Jeannie thinks she probably did this from an admin time clock homepage. Okay, so like, basically what it does is the system starts telling you the story. It's very important, very important. Okay, so we were talking about inventory items. By default, we get a few things naturally. I'm going to grab my marker right here. We are in a grow industry, so we're going to pretend that we have, basically we're going to have flowers and shrubberies and all sorts of fun things. Eventually, this is our goal right here, general inventory items, okay? By default, when we load the system, we actually load about 15 to 20 items called special line items, okay? So even though we don't have anything in our general inventory pool right now, you actually have about 15 or 20 of these little guys automatically, okay? That's labor, fees, discounts, supplies, etc. Like those are the pieces that we get automatically, okay? As we get into this general inventory pool, eventually this is the path, okay? We go vendors to POs, and it brings it into our general inventory pool. Once we actually sell it, a customer comes in, they interact through the shopping cart, we determine if we're going to quote it or invoice it. Doesn't make a bit of difference, and eventually we pull it out of the general inventory pool. This is kind of our outgoing piece. This is our incoming piece. Our incoming piece will eventually feed our accounts payable. Our outgoing piece, meaning who we sold it to, eventually either does this or it goes right to deposits, meaning like where's our money at, okay? Do they owe me or did I get all my money and I'm going to deposit it immediately? That's kind of the difference on those pieces of the puzzle. Okay, before we go anywhere, the first place I want to show you is this, guys, right here, your special line items. If you're logged in, let's have you go like this. Go ahead and click on your home page. We are going to come down here, and do you guys want to deal with them on the setting level, or do you want to deal with them on the view level, like as part of your inventory? Where would you like to see them at first? Okay, the view level. System reports, we're going to go to our Grow Items and Inventory homepage and click Go. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to select and say, hey, choose the vendor. I want all of them from NA System. Search it. Go get it. It looks like they've actually hidden and shown quite a few of them as well. Okay, you know how I told you that there was probably between 15 and 20? I'm only showing a record count of 7 right now, because they've probably they've showed and hidden some of those little different pieces of the puzzle. Okay, so here's the pieces. Like technically, I can sell this immediately. Okay, I didn't have to bring it into a PO or anything. These are special. I automatically give them to you through the system. So just for a fun, watch this. Labor. Let's go 2 of them. Add it. Boom. You can go right into a cart mode, and you can instantly start selling labor if you wanted to, okay? Like it already exists, but there's no POs in the system, but labor and some of these special line items already exist. They have, the reason we call them special line items is we allow you to modify and say show, hide. Do you want to change tax categories? How do you want them to show up on your financials, all that kind of stuff. So like some of them play different roles. So what I'd like to show you really quick is just where those are at. So we're going to go home for just a brief second. We're going to go down to System Management. You do have to have the admin permission for this. Manage Corp Info and Permissions and hit Go. Once you get on this page, there's a number of different pieces. Look and feel, what kind of types do you want to do, payroll settings for your corporation. We're going to be under here under the corp-wide settings and defaults. Go ahead and click on that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my keyboard and go Control-End, your end key, and go clear to the bottom, and then kind of come up to the little matrix because I knew it was at the bottom. Setting number 60 currently. Okay, Here is all of the different ones that we pre-populate for you that are called special line items. Collected, dealer handling fee. Now you can see that somebody's already gone in here and been like, oh, I don't think we're going to be using these. You can also determine what sort of tax categories you want. You can also determine where you want them to show up. Is it a revenue? Is it a cost of goods? Or is it an expense? Or is it what we call unassigned black hole? So that actually does have a purpose and a reason for it. It still shows up for the roll call. It just doesn't show up on the financial piece for the thing. Okay. Most of ours are going to be under revenue. And I'm just going to kind of leave them as the defaults that they have here. And we'll just come on down to the bottom and just say Save Settings. That's where we get to control those main pieces of the puzzle, if you will, for what's available. Once it's available, you literally can actually say, hey, labor, LAB, go get me my grow item, go get it. Click. Like I can search it, and it's tied to this thing called NA System, which is technically a vendor that's internal. Okay?